Hello, and in this video I'm going to be talking about a couple of features that they removed from The Sims 4 that I think should have been left in. And I'm listing this in order of how much I personally think they should have been left in, starting with the features that I think do not really matter that much, and ending with the features that I think should have definitely been left in. My first complaint is going to be no creator style, and this doesn't really bother me. Most of the swatches in the game are pretty nice, and most of the furniture looks good together, especially with different packs. A lot of people complain that they look similar, but I personally think that that's a good thing, because it means that a lot of the furniture can be used with other sets from other DLC. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the fact that lots have to be completely flat. This doesn't irritate me that much because it doesn't have that much of a use. It was pretty niche, but it was something that you would use occasionally, and when you want to use it on a lot in The Sims 4, you can't, and that's just irritating for multiple different reasons. The third thing I'm going to talk about is something that a lot of people bring up when they talk about The Sims 4, and that's the lack of an open world. The lack of a huge open world doesn't really irritate me, but the fact that you can't even go to your next door neighbour's house without actually going through a loading screen first does irritate me. Especially when you consider the fact that literally they are already loaded in and already doing stuff, already baking, already gardening, doing whatever. The Sims are already there. Why can't we just go? Okay, like, it's literally already loaded in. It doesn't make sense to not have that feature. The next thing I'm going to bring up is the fact that there are a lot of loading screens. Now, this doesn't bother me much either, because they're pretty short usually, and like, the ones in The Sims 3, let's be real, they took a long time, and the more custom content or packs you had, it would get so long. So that doesn't really bother me that much, but the fact that there's so many, and your Sims will reset after every loading screen, so if you go, like, into create a sim or something during the middle of a game, everyone just sort of stops doing what they're doing and then has to start again, and that irritates me. Next thing I'm going to mention is the lack of lots. There are a lot of different worlds in The Sims 4 that you can freely travel to without having to go through a fucking 10-hour loading screen and moving to that world, which is a good thing, but the fact that there's not as many lots in the base game, 3 worlds for The Sims 4, and for 1 world in The Sims 3 there was more lots, like, that's not good. Okay, that's just not good. There was like 125 plus lots you could have in a world in The Sims 3. And in The Sims 4, there's a lot less. A different thing that irritates me is the fact that teenagers are still the same height as adults. It still bugs me. Okay, no teenager is that tall, and the rare few that are still don't look that mature. It irritates me. There's no way to tell the difference. How many times do you go to click on a sim thinking, I will just have my sim flirt with them? Oh, I can't because that's creepy, they're a teenager. It's so weird. Why can't they be slightly shorter, even if it's just a little bit? Like, there needs to be a small hint. Where do we begin with the fact that there's no story progression? Everyone gets old and dies. No one has children. And I'm so grateful that the MC Command Center mod is a thing, because without it, I literally do not think I could survive. All of your Sims would just die and never get married, never have new jobs, never have kids, or move, or do any of this stuff like getting pets, anything, without the MC Command Center. And I feel like that's something that should be included in a life simulation game, especially when it gets to the 4th game in the series. I'm also going to mention the fact that I don't like the traits in The Sims 4. I think that most of them just influence how your sim will feel and give them a specific emotion buff, usually not even a very big one. And there's not even that many traits you can give to a sim. You can only give them 3, whereas you used to be able to give them 5. I think the traits in The Sims 3 were much better, and the ones that were good are not included, and the ones that are included in The Sims 4 haven't changed one bit, such as what is now the erratic trait. That's the only change they've made to that trait, is the name. Remember how in Sims 2, if your sim got fired or someone died, randomly, a lot later they would feel sad because of that? That doesn't happen in The Sims 4, despite this emotion buff stuff that they've said they've added, the advanced emotional feelings of Sims. Sims still don't feel sad when someone dies after the buff goes away. Whereas in Sims 2, randomly, a lot later, a sim would remember a sad or happy event, and you would actually feel bad about that, because it's realistic. Another thing that I need to mention is the fact that there's no robberies in The Sims 4. Okay, I get why they took it out. Yes, they've mentioned that it's a bit too depressing and realistic or whatever. But it does happen in real life. Why did they remove it? It was always interesting feeling so scared that your Sims were going to get robbed in the middle of the night because you forgot to put down a damn burglar alarm. And let's be real, we all forgot at one point or another. Now it's just your Sims go to bed and you have to worry about that monster under the bed that wakes up your kids every 10 seconds. Would have rather had the robbers. I do not hate The Sims 4. I actually really enjoy it, actually. It's quite a fun game, and I do enjoy messing around with my Sims, but I do think that there are a couple of things that could have been done better, and I think we all think that. I'm sure even the team thinks that, to be honest. I mean, they're the ones that made it. They're going to notice the most flaws with it, if anyone. I do want to just take a moment to talk about a couple of things that do irritate me a lot, though. And this is going to be the recycled content. Specifically, the recycled content that I noticed in Seasons from the Spooky Stuff pack. You didn't even try to hide it. You literally recolored it. In the case of a couple of the lights, and also the webs. The webs were different, but the thing is that the colour swatches don't even match, so you can't even just mix and match them. You kind of have to choose one and go with that, which just makes it even worse, if you ask me. Yeah, this has happened in previous packs. It's not the first time that they've recolored content, but I just feel like this time they could have done a much better job at hiding it. Anyway, that's all for this video, and maybe I'll see you in the next one. Maybe not. Bye!